This week on the Shady 580 podcast.
Logan Paul was at one of the Flat Earth conferences.
Yes, Denver. Yeah.
Was he serious, do you think, or was that for?
Okay.
Do you
No,
think he
I'll
was
tell you. I'll
just-
tell you. His
Okay.
his motivation is strictly, and I'm not going to bash on him too much because if you know anything, you knew that I walked out of the Denver conference because of him.
Oh, okay.
Because he was kept a complete secret from everyone, literally up until like 12 hours before we went live, and I was in complete denial. There's no way it could be Logan Paul. Logan Paul's one of the most horrible people on the internet. He's just terrible. I mean, I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't like people that play practical jokes, and I certainly don't like it when they get paid for it, because that just encourages really bad behavior. I mean, I could barely stand Johnny Knoxville with the Jackass team years ago. And anyway, so that's what we'll get into. But I'm sorry. Let me finish the Logan Paul thing. So Logan comes to the conference, and he was really just fishing for footage for for ratings. That's all he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's had plenty of chances to. I mean, heck, that was in November. It's March. And he's never officially come out of the Flat Earth closet. In fact, he didn't even understand the footage that he shot, to the point where he's now subcontracting out the editing, to where when it finally does come out, and I imagine it'll come out maybe this month, it won't be his. It'll be somebody else's. It'll be somebody else that'll be doing the editing, because a quick analogy would be like if you had a dumb jock. No offense to dumb jocks, but a lot of them are dumb. If you had a dumb jock was told, okay, you got to hang out with the math club for an afternoon and then write a book report on it. He could hang out with the math club for a month. It's not going to make a difference. He's going to come back and like, how does he write a book report? He can't do it. And he can talk to all his jock friends and be like, dude, I have no idea. So he basically has to hire geeks to write the book report for him. And that is what Logan is doing right now. So anyway.
Well, then, do you think it will be a serious film if he's not going to be making it entirely?
Well, that's an excellent point. That's an excellent question, which was if he was editing it entirely, because he only knows jokes, he only knows pranks, it would not be a serious piece. It would be tongue in cheek the entire time. But because he's got some geeks looking at it, I don't think it will be as bad. The problem they're going to have is that every scene he's in, he's just clowning around. So at that point, you're going to have, which is probably why it's being delayed, because I'm sure the first draft they threw it at him, he's like, hey, why am I not in this more? It's like, because you're never serious whenever you're on camera. And you want to make a serious piece like Shane Dawson's was. I mean, Shane did it on his own. He didn't even call any of us until later. Then Shane Dawson's group contacted us, and we flew down there and shot a thing with his brother. But he did it on his own. Whereas Logan, I will give him credit that he actually went to Denver to the conference and paid for all the tickets. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that serious. If it is, hey, great, fantastic. I just don't know how. If I was an editor and I was looking at Logan's footage, I would just cut him out of the film entirely, just have him narrate it, and that would then he might be able to do something. But everybody on the internet knows Logan. He's never made a serious piece in his life. So now after whatever 5 years he's been doing this, now he's going to make a serious piece. I don't know. Just the confidence isn't high.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'll watch it. It's just it was supposedly going to come out in January.
Yep.
Then February.
Yep.
It's March. It still is not here.
Yeah. I mean, he might. I mean, again, it if it comes out and it's a serious piece, it'll generate hits. Even if it's an attack piece, because there's a whole bunch of those out there. I mean, there's giant channels. Look at freaking PewDiePie. Regardless of how many actual subs he has, it still generated a lot of hits. So the old saying, which is wrong, is any publicity is good publicity, and that's not really true. The original saying is even bad publicity is free.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, even the National Geographic piece, I mean, hey, 1 million hits, go. In fact, CBS, for example, they were down there at the same time Nat Geo was, and they shot some footage, and Patricia Steer was featured in it. And it got 1 million hits, and they pulled it. They yanked it off of YouTube voluntarily because they were catching so much backlash, because it was fairly neutral. So we'll take anything. What I just don't want, and again, I'm not the leader, but what I don't want and what I will fight against is bad celebrities. Plain and simple. I mean, we all know there's good and bad celebs out there. You know, there's ones that get in trouble and like anything, and there's some that don't. And he's a bad celeb. So what you don't want is someone like him all of a sudden going on talk shows or wherever he goes, not that he will, and start saying, trying to explain flat Earth to people, because that would go terrible. Last thing on this, which would be rapper B.O.B. You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he got into it. And, hey, Grammy nominated, fantastic. He's talented, no question. Terrible in interviews. If you ever watch him get interviewed, he's awful. And when he talks about flat Earth, it's even worse. And so it's like you wouldn't want B.O.B. and then thank God you realize like, yeah, I can't really talk about this because he just can't. He just doesn't. Whatever, he just can't. He can't come up with the answers fast enough. But so that's B.O.B. right? Logan Paul is freaking Shakespeare compared to B.O.B. Right. No, I'm sorry. Reverse that. Stop that. Reverse that. B.O.B. is wow, I completely screwed that up. B.O.B. is infinitely better at interviews. And if you have any doubt, just look up, for anyone listening, look up the Daily Beast interview where they interviewed him right outside the front doors of that Denver conference. And they were trying to ask him serious questions. He couldn't even form sentences. It's like, wow. It's amazing. Give an 8th grader millions of dollars and see what happens. Well, there you go.